Hello, I'm Kads, and welcome to today's video. Once again, the portal is alight with our favorite lovely blue hue, meaning it's once again time to pull some shards for 2x Ancients. And I say favorite because this is the most accessible form of shard pulling for a majority of the player base, because it is a relatively low cost for a potentially high amount of rewards. But of course, we are never pulling without a purpose, so there is a champion chase going on right now, and more importantly, the Thor Titan event going on right now, featuring some Titan event points in the champion chase. And so that is our goal for this session. So we're not going to just stop at the 3,000 points as normal for the Legendary Tome. We're going all the way out to 5,500 to make sure that we get all of the Titan event points from the event, which in this case is 250. Now, understandably, this is a relatively high milestone to hit 5,500. It's not unprecedented. We've seen this before for Titan events and or other special things where the milestone is way out here. But once again, I want to highlight the fact that this is the most accessible form of pulling shards. So as long as you have about 100 to 120 ancient shards to spare, you should be good to go out to 5,500. But nonetheless, even if you don't, you can most certainly still use fragment summons, previous fragment summon champions. You could use your remnant summons. You can use permanent fusions in the game, Relic Keeper, Bodmaz, or anything you have if you haven't fused Lady Mikage yet. So you can make it easier on yourself if you need to, or you can just skip the 150 points from the Titan event because you don't need it, or you're pursuing the 3-star soul or the 4-star soul for Thor. Therefore, you don't need to max out every single shard pulling event to get Titan event points. So is it a high milestone? Yes, but is it the end of the world? In this case, I think not. I think it'd be a lot worse if it was 5,500 and it was like 2 times sacreds or something. That would be a ridiculous amount of sacreds in order to max that out. Same thing for 2x voids and potentially for 2x primals, because a lot of people probably don't have a lot of primals to spare, but I digress. So we're already in the portal, so let's hop over here and take a look at the shard count on the overall account here. 776 on the ancients. Yes, we have a lot, but yes, we're going to use some today. 265 on the voids, 29 on the primals, and 53 on the sacreds. Of course, we'll be diving in or dipping into the ancients today, and it is Sunday at the time of this pulling because I did wait until the 10x for Dune Lord Gregor ended. Not that he's a bad champion per se, but the champions that I would like to see, the legendaries I would like to see, are much more important than getting him and what he could potentially do in my account. So that's why I waited until the 10x specifically ended. When it comes to Mercy, I can throw that up on the screen. You can see here in this row that we are still fresh off of Mercy from the POGO event. I've not pulled any ancient since then, so we're basically just playing the odds here. Like I said, somewhere between 100 and 120 ancients, so the odds are decent. 1% chance of getting legendary, but nothing is guaranteed here. And worst case, we just build up some Mercy towards the next POGO event if it happens to be in probably the distant future, because we're probably going to need another session to kind of get closer to that threshold that I like to be for going for ancient POGO shards. If we do happen to get a legendary today, then my top 3 are Valkyrie, a Poison Exploder, or Molly Tankard. And of course, we do expect to get a lot of epics. In fact, epics are worth a lot of points, so we do want to see a lot of epics. So any duplicate epics for empowerment will always be nice to have. All right, let's get into the pulls. We've got the space, we've got some cash, and hopefully we get a decent amount of luck. 5,500 points is the goal, basically starting from 0. So let's see, hopefully a bunch of epics and maybe 1. I'd like to see 2 legendaries, but the odds are that we're going to walk away with probably 0 and at best 1. So starting off hot with 10 rares. You hate to see it, but 100 points in the bag, basically useless. I think I started off at roughly 150 in the champion chase, so we're at 250, so not much to say there. Looks like, there we go, 2x is officially on. 800 points, we got 3 epics. Lady Tessa, the worst epic ally attack champion in the entire game. Juliana got a buff fairly recently, single target damage with poisons and HP burns, can be pretty useful, maybe like Demon Lord Clan Boss teams, but nothing really amazing outside of that. And Soul Drinker, more of a meme champion, but he does have a fun passive combined with like Gaius the Gleeful to place bombs when he dies. I think it was called like the Kamikaze team back in the day, where Gaius, or you'd place bombs when he dies, as long as you put them in the right team order, and then Gaius would instantly pop the bombs and you can kind of just kill the team from the graves. Kind of fun, but I digress. Alika, Scratch's favorite epic in the game, but well known for this ability here on a 2-turn cooldown that ignores 50% of the defense. Put her in Savage, you're starting off at 75%. Throw a Helm Smasher on the top, and then she has the chance to ignore entirety of enemy's defense on a 2-turn cooldown, I repeat. So pretty cool there. And then the A3, the more well-known ability, basically the Basher type ability AoE attack that has a 100% chance of increasing the cooldowns of all skills by 2 turns. So a bit of a mini lockout on top of doing a decent amount of damage. So pretty cool champion there. 1,400 points in the champion chase. Let's keep it rolling. Again, we want to see a lot of epics, and then maybe, just maybe, we get 1 legendary out of this set here. Bunch rares. You hate 2. See, okay, saved by the epic. They're 300 points in the bag, so I guess 1700-ish points in the champion chase. Fought Boar the Bard, got him recently, but AoE, decreased defense granted on a 4-turn cooldown. But again, if that's all you need him for, in the Cursed City specifically, or Faction Wars, he can definitely do the job. Chance to stun as well on the A2. Moving right along, here we go. Next set, 1750 in the champion chase. Double checking my math with every 10 pop here. Bunch O rares times 2, looking bad. Okay, once again, the last thing saved by the epics, Umatogi. Honestly, I have no idea what she does, and yeah, that tells you everything you need to know about her. She's not that great. Next 10 pop here. Come on, more than one epic, please. Let's see it. Kinagashi, pretty decent reviver for, okay, 3 epics. We'll take that. Pretty decent reviver for the Shadowkin Faction Wars if you do need her for the purpose. Also pretty handy in the Cursed City because she does have a mini ally attack in her kit. Karam, I think he's like a single target poison exploder, but not exactly who we're looking for. I should have specified. We're looking for AoE poison detonators there, RNGesus. And then Flesh Chair, really not that amazing. He doesn't really do that much. Moving right along, we are at 2900 in the champion chase, so a little bit over halfway, but again, the goal is 5500. Soul Drinker, don't have to talk about him again. We already mentioned it. 340, unfortunately, 1 epic only. Let's keep it going. What did I say last? 2100, so we're, or 2700, so we're somewhere around 3000 and some change. And a bunch of, no, not a bunch of rares. And we have Phersalis Gravedirt, who honestly is very annoying to go against in enemy waves because of his passive here. When allies, like when enemies, in that case, when he's an enemy attacker, when they drop below half health, he starts placing fears, and then when you kill them, he places True Fear. So if you're not paying attention, he can True Fear your entire team just because you're killing everyone but him. So a little bit of an annoyance there. 3200, let's keep it going. Next 10 pop. I am not even keeping track of how many shards we're ripping, just because, like I mentioned earlier, I have a ton of ancient shards, so I am more than happy to stack my account with a bunch of food. Maybe I should not have said that. We got a bunch of rares, but that is nonetheless a lot of food. But we also want to see some epics because we want to get some duplicates for empowerment. Don't do the back-to-back rares. You hate to see it. Let's keep it going. We are just ripping through ancients here. So I believe we're somewhere around like 3,500-ish. I'll double check a little bit here. There we go. We're back in business. Can we make it 4 epics? Hey, the first 4 epic 10 pop, and they are all trash. Ripper, don't really care. Missionary, terrible. Warden, he's basically a rare champion because he has like the weak version of buffs and debuffs, which is absolutely a travesty. But Taurus is useful. He is used in Poison Explosion comps because he does have this ability, where is it? Toxic Nova, where he puts himself at basically 1 HP, and he places 4 AoE poison. That's the key thing. So as long as he has enough accuracy for whatever stage you're doing, if you have a poison exploder team combined with him, he can do some work. So far we're seeing a decent amount of epics, but nothing that's really juicy and that's really gonna empower anyone I happen to care about. And technically speaking, there's like a handful of epics I still have yet to pull. Legendary, and it is Strategos Island. He is a champion that I've most certainly never used ever on my account, but nonetheless I've heard great things about what he can do for Hydra teams because he does have a provoke in the kit on the A1, so he can be used against the Head of Decay, specifically when counterattacking. He puts counterattack on himself, and so this can help him lock down the Head of Decay if he happens to be the target, but he can also serve as a mischief tank of sorts by placing all these buffs on himself. He does have an interesting healing passive because he heals all allies under ally protection, which can be pretty useful. He probably provides ally protection as well. And then he also has AoE decrease speed, which is probably one of the most important debuffs in Hydra Clan boss. So again, I think a lot of people like him for that purpose. If you're just kind of getting started with it, you're working on normal, you're working on hard, you can definitely do some work. But for me, he is a duplicate, so I guess High Elves Faction Guardian will take it. So a little bit closer to speed for Arbiter. I guess that's the saving grace of this 10 pop. So I guess there goes that plan about saving up Mercy or building up Mercy for a POGO event. It has been reset with the Legendary, but nonetheless, not the end of the world. We did get a Legendary after all, so you can't complain that much. We were at 4,900 in the Champion Chase. This set adds another 340, which brings us to around 5,200. So a little bit more to go. Basically one more epic and a 10 pop will basically do it. And Lockwayne here, honestly, don't really know what he does either, but he is useful in the Lady Mikage fusion. So I don't have to do that anymore, but nonetheless, he is useful for that purpose. 3 epics, 4 epics. Okay, Rainin N, another Legendary, and it is unfortunately another duplicate, Elder Skorg. So yeah, we're doubling down on the building up zero mercy from the session, but hey, I will take it. We did get 2 new Legendaries legendaries on the account, both of which are dupes, but both of which are also going to be faction guardian. So this is going to benefit the barbarians in this case. So Elderskarg, pretty cool champion. I think he does have one of the hardest hitting single target abilities in the entire game if you have all the setup in the world, but this can be a 6-time hitter if you do all the things. And then he also has this interesting / weird ability on the Aether. We can place an AoE fear that turns into a true fear if they're under block damage for some reason. You can place a decreased speed if they're under shield buffs, and then specifically if you're a legendary champion, then it will place a provoke on you on top of everything else. So interesting, weird, however you want to describe it. Definitely don't use them on my account, but nonetheless, again, faction guard is for the barbarians, so a little bit closer to speed for, I guess, Armons in this case. So Ripper, not that great. Cagebreaker, terrible. Knight Errant, also terrible. And then Ashma, another Lady Mikage epic, for those of you who care. And so with that, we most certainly hit the limit. We also hit capacity on my champion collection, which was totally planned, all part of the plan. But yeah, we definitely hit the milestone there. We overshot it quite a bit now on the champion chase, but nonetheless, mission accomplished. We have our reward, 5,500 plus probably 7,000, way over the 200 and something we needed. But we get all of the juicy rewards here. We get the legendary tome, of course, immortal. We get all of the Titan event points, so it's pretty handy. And honestly, I will probably just get, I guess 180 mystery shards pulled and then go towards the second legendary tome. Why not? We're a lot closer than I intended to be because we happen to get a legendary and a bunch of epics as well on the last 10 pop there. But yeah, that's going to be my plan. Obviously, I could also do this with, another 10 pop of ancients, but what's the point? Don't really need to. We could do it with mystery shards. I pulled as many as I intended to pull to get to the goal that I was originally going for, so I don't really feel the need to pull more. And that is one of the ways that I end up having an abundance of ancient shards, or any shard for that matter. So making the decision to cut it off when I actually meant to is one of the ways that I do that. Interestingly enough, I guess that means I might have secured 4th place for myself, even though I kind of intended to be somewhere down here. But hey, once again, we got lucky there on the last 10 pop, so I guess we walk away with potentially some 6-star epic relentless gear as well. So we'll take that. Some mortal soul stones, not that bad of a deal. For the index, yeah, I guess it's going to show Islin as being new because, like I said, he's unsummoned yet in the portal. But nonetheless, he is a duplicate faction guardian. Eventually, I guess next champion chase, I'll actually have to summon him from the pool to make sure that I can get that. I guess I could have done that instead of pulling another 10 pop, but it was more exciting to get the epics and legendary, right? But yeah, so technically a red dot, but that is because he's unsummoned in the portal as a previous fragment summon, and nothing else is new. So there you have it. Not too shabby. A couple of legendaries on the account. Granted, they are both dupes, but nonetheless, it's been a while since I've gotten 2 legendaries from one summoning session, so that is something that I actually mentioned to myself a couple of days ago, hoping that this would be the one where things would change, because I knew I'd be pulling a little bit more than usual because we're going a little bit further than just the legendary tome. We're going all the way out to 5,500, and that wish came true. Granted, not exactly who we were looking for, but I digress. Let me know in the comment section down below if you guys were pulling for a 2x ancients here and what you were able to get from your summons. And as always, if you did enjoy the video, then be sure to hit that like button down below. It really does help out the channel, and feel free to subscribe to the channel as well if you are enjoying the content. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.